Go to Power Automate. I'm going to type make.powerautomate.com, and I'm already logged in. And I'm going to click Create. I'm going to skip to Automated Cloud Flow, and I'm going to skip the wizard here and go straight to a blank Automated Cloud Flow. And I'm going to name this so I know what this does. What it's going to do is anytime a folder comes into that reference folder in Outlook that has in the subject title download to OneDrive, it's going to then save that to a folder in my OneDrive called reference. So it's download file from Outlook reference folder to OneDrive reference folder. So this will fire. We want this to trigger anytime an email is received with an attachment in that reference folder. So we'll choose this when a new email arrives, version 3, and this allows you to set some triggers based on the email. So we want it to include the attachments, but we only want it to work when there is an attachment. We don't care if it's no attachment. And then we also only want to check when the email is in the reference folder. So my reference folder is in my inbox, so I have to navigate a bit and go to reference here. So now it's looking in that inbox, and we also want it to use a subject filter that it's going to look for that download to OneDrive subject text. Now I probably would also do a from filter and make sure that it's from that csod.com. So I'm going to go back in and do that later. There's some other things you can look at. These are some settings. You can get into the code. This is what the code looks like. Just some details on what a trigger looks like in Power Automate. So now that's going to fire whenever an email comes that has that report. And what I want it to do, I'm going to add an action, and I'm going to create a file in the OneDrive settings. So I'm going to click Create File, and that file is going to be based on, well, first of all, we have to say where. So it's in my root OneDrive folder in a folder called Reference. So that's where I want it to save this file. Then I need to put the file name and the file contents, and I can do that using the little lightning bolt, what lets me pick from the previous step. So I want to save the file with the same name as the attachment. So I'm going to click See More and then look through these here, and there's one called attachment name. See if I find it. Attachment's name. There it is. So the file name is going to have the same name as the attachment, and the file contents is going to have the same contents as the file. So I have to scroll down again and find attachment content. So I'll pick that. So now this is the way in Power Automate you say create a file that's the same as the attachment and put it in the OneDrive reference folder. So that's set up. I'm going to click Save, and we do the flow checker to make sure there's no errors it detects. It says it's ready to go. I'm going to go back. It says my flow's ready to go. So I'll say got it. And making sure it's turned on. If I click this, it'll turn it off. So if I ever need to stop it from doing what it's doing, I'm going to turn it back on. And now it should be ready to go. So what I'm going to do next is trigger my email. So I'm going to change the time. Instead of from 3:30, I'm going to change it to like maybe 4:15 so that that email gets sent. And I can always check in this run history to see if it worked. Plus I can also look in the reference folder in my OneDrive to see if it worked.